I swear, I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't snooping. At least, that's what I told myself when his phone lit up at 2 in the morning. A notification. Bro, you're wild. I tapped. And suddenly, I was in this group chat. It felt like the floor opened up beneath me. Jokes about black women, captions sharp like knives. Then I saw it. My own selfie. Screenshot. A circle drawn right around my waist. My throat just closed. I kept scrolling, desperate to find the message where he said, "Don't talk about her like that." But it never came. We'd been together almost 2 years. If you asked me a month ago, I would have said we were solid. Not perfect. Rent was late sometimes. Groceries stretched too thin. Little fights about nothing. But there was comfort. He'd watch me play Red Dead Redemption like I was really on some road trip. We split bills. We split chores. We split this messy version of adulthood you build when you're barely out of school. The fight that cracked it started small. My tone. Towels on the bed. Eye rolls. Silence. Normally, it would have died there. But this knot in my chest wouldn't let it go. My gut whispered, "Look closer." I didn't even have to try. His phone lit up while he was in the shower. A text from that old friend group I never really trusted. The guys who drink the same IPAs, tell the same high school stories, like they're still stuck there. One of them once asked him, "You still with the thick girl?" Like I was a car he was test driving. I opened the chat, and it felt like stepping into a basement with a flickering bulb. Memes that said, black and loud, without saying it. Preferences, types, just jokes. Then my Instagram story, screenshot, circle around my body. His response? Not outrage, not defense, just a laugh. "Y'all are dumb." Like that made it okay. Not a line in the sand. Permission, wrapped in distance. I didn't cry. I went cold, scrolled through, looking for the moment he picked me. It wasn't there. What I found was worse. His need to belong. The little emojis, the way he softened their ugliness, called it stupid instead of wrong. I locked his phone, set it down like it was burning me. He came out humming, kissed my head, asked for his charger. My voice sounded far away when I told him where it was. He didn't notice. I didn't say anything that night. I walked around for 2 days like a ghost, smiled at work, answered texts, acted normal. But inside, I was replaying every screenshot, every little laugh. I finally told 2 friends. They didn't give me speeches. One said, "Leave." Clean, simple. The other said, "This isn't memes. This is values." And that's when it clicked. So I sat him down. I laid it all out. The chat, the memes, the screenshot of my waist, the way my stomach flipped when he left. I watched the color drain out of his face. First came anger. "Why were you in my phone?" Then dismissal. "They're just jokes, babe." Then helplessness. "They've been my friends since middle school. You know how they are." And I told him, "I do know how they are. I need to know how you are." What do you do when your friends drag black women through the dirt? What do you do when they turn my body into a group chat scavenger hunt? He shrugged. I don't laugh most of the time. Most. I tell them they're dumb sometimes. Sometimes. I can't control what they say. You can control what you say, I told him. You can control whether you stand up or sit down. He just stared at me, like I'd asked him to cut off his own arm. And then he said it. I don't want to lose my friends. That was his truth, not cruelty, just cowardice. Fear of being the guy who calls it out. Fear of being left out. Fear, period. And I asked him, Do you understand what it feels like? To be loved in private but humiliated in public? To walk into a room and wonder if I'm the test you're failing in real time? He said he hated that I felt that way. He said he hated them when they did that. He said a lot of almost right things, but every single one collapsed under the light. He promised me he'd confront them, that he'd set boundaries, say stop. But all I could picture was those words hitting the group chat, getting buried under a dozen LOL okay bros, him backing down the second they pushed back. I told him I was disappointed, too small a word, but it was all I could get out without shaking. I told him I was disgusted with the way he chose to belong. I told him I'm not a checkbox he ticks in private and leaves blank in public. He nodded, said he'd fix it, said he loves me. Then I looked around our place. The IKEA shelf I put together because he never reads instructions. The cracked mug I still use because it fits in my hands. The rent notice on the fridge with both our names. All the little knots tying us together. The lease, the money, the timing. After that talk, he turned tender, too tender, asking before he came home, washing dishes without being asked, hovering, like he was afraid to breathe wrong. In a one-bedroom space is just two people facing the same wall, saying less. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, trying on different futures, the one where he grows a spine, the one where I leave. Every version circled back to the same question. If a man won't defend you to his friends, can he really love you the way you need? Little slips gave me the answer. They're not racist, they're just ignorant. It's not about you. I don't want drama. Each one was a door he refused to walk through, and I realized I was waiting for a grand gesture from a man terrified of being seen. I'm not waiting anymore. The memes hurt, yeah, but the real deal breaker was his spine, or the lack of it. He kept me small so he could stay big with boys who never grew up. So right now, I'm being polite. We still split rent. I still cook sometimes because I like my own food. He's extra nice. We are civil. We are temporary. Meanwhile, I'm stacking money, picking up extra shifts, scrolling sublets, texting friends about couches. Quiet moves. Careful moves. When he asks if we're okay, I tell him, yeah, for now. Not because I believe it, because the truth is a bridge too, and I'm already on the other side. I can see my life without him. Me laughing in a kitchen that doesn't bite. Me playing my game without my body being passed around in some group chat. Me waking up to messages that make me feel bigger, not smaller. If you've ever felt that cold snap in your chest, the moment you realize someone who swears they love you keeps choosing a laugh over your dignity, listen to it. You don't owe anyone your silence just so they can keep their friends. You don't have to set yourself on fire to warm a room that would still ask you to smile. Choose yourself, choose your spine, choose the life where you're not the joke. I'll be okay. A night that finally fills my lungs, not because he's gonna fix it, because I am. I've survived worse. I know my values. I'm done auditioning for love that makes me shrink. Home isn't a person who hides you in private and lets others laugh at you in public. Home is where your dignity can stretch out and never apologize for the space it takes. The plan is simple. Save, move, breathe. And when it's time, I won't slam the door. I'll just take my plants, my controller, my mug, and the parts of me I refuse to keep small. I'll leave the key on the counter, maybe text him, forwarding address on the table. And then I'll walk out into a night that finally feels like air filling my lungs. It might be my own place or a friend's couch, but it'll be mine. The beginning, not the aftermath.